Hello from Sarah and welcome back to part 2 of my Sharon Granny Square project. So today, with no further ado, I'm going to show you how to make the circle into this square and how to join it as you go to all other squares, making out of the strips of granny squares that will turn into a lovely and colorful long crochet vest. So let's begin. So this is where we finished off last time, creating this beautiful circle with different stitches. And now we are going to turn it, as I said, into a square. That is to say, since we want to join as we work to the other granny squares, we will start making 3 sides of the square first, and then we will attach the 4th side of the square to one of the sides of the finished squares of the long strips that will make up of the long crochet vest I'm making. So, as I said, this is a summer project, so I'm using cotton, and for the square part, for the border of this project, I'm using a white, an off-white, so this one. So here I have my tail of previous color of my circle. So now I'm going to attach my white, inserting the hook right between of these trebles here. So any couple, choose any couple of trebles and insert the hook right in between them. Of course, it would be better if you want to weave in the yarn, as I do, to choose either the couple, the pair just before the tail or just after the tail, as I'm choosing here. So insert the hook, take the white color and attach it like that, making sure that the tail you're leaving is more or less as long as the tail we're going to weave in of the last color of the circle. So like that, and attach the color. Now I'm going to do a group of 3 double crochets here. The first one I'm doing as I shown you before, like that. So yarn over, insert the hook again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, 2 loops on the hook, and before closing the stitch I'm weaving in my tails, and I'm closing the stitch. So this counts as my first double crochet, and I'm doing it like that. I'm explaining it now just like I did at the beginning because I like the finish better. When I finish the round, I like it better how it looks. Okay, so now 2 more double crochets in the same space, weaving in the tails as I work, just like before. And here I'm doing quite normal double crochets. 2 and 3. Okay, this is my first group of 3 double crochets. Now I'm making 2 chains as a separating space. And now in the next space between trebles, well, there is no space, but we are going to insert the hook there. I'm going to make another group of 3 double crochets here. So, another chain 2. And another group of 3 double crochets in the next space, let's call it like that, between trebles. Okay. Another chain 2. Now I've finished weaving in the tails, so I'm going to be a little bit quicker with my work. And now I've reached the first corner of my square, which will still be in the next space between trebles, where I'm going to make 2 groups of 3 trebles separated by a chain 2. So first treble, second, and third. Now chain 2, and another group of 3 trebles in the very same space because it's a corner. Okay, so now I will work as follows. So my side is made up of 3 groups of 3 double crochets separated by a chain 2. So this is my side. So now I will work chain 2, then 3 groups of 3 double crochets separated by a chain 2, each of them into in the middle of these trebles of previous row, just like before. Okay, then I will make another corner, so 2 groups of 3 trebles separated by a chain 2 in the same space. Then I will make another side, another row, let's say, of 3 double crochets separated by a chain 2. And then I will see you at the end of that side. So I will work 1, I've worked already, 2 and 3 sides, and 2 corners. So 1 I've worked already, and the other one is here. And then I will show you how to work the rest, because I will join as I work to the strip of the other granny squares. So I'll see you at the end of it. So here I am back with the work I've done so far. So 3 sides complete. Now I've worked my last chain 2 before the 3rd corner of my square. So I'm going to work it like that. Now I will begin and make the first group of 3 trebles into the corner here between the trebles of previous round. So I will work them very simply, just like before. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I would need to make my chain 2 or 3, depending how much space you want to leave. And this is time for me to attach the square to the other squares. So this is the last square I've worked. I'm making a strip of 8 squares, so this is the 7th. And this is, let's say, the fully open side of that last square, this one. So I'm going to attach it here. So it's important that the yarn is hanging between the 2 sides, okay? And we are going to insert the hook from above to the space here of the 1 corner. So from above, I'm taking the yarn underneath and making, let's say, a chain. Then I'm making another chain like this, and I have attached the corner. Now, my corner here on my unfinished square is still left to be completed. So I needed to work another group of 3 trebles here. So this is how I'm doing it. So I will start working my treble inside the corner of my unfinished square, like that. So I work my 2 yarn overs and pull throughs. And just when I needed to finish my stitch, before finishing it, so I have 2 loops left on the hook, I'm going to insert the tip of my hook into the top of the first treble of that group of 3 in my finished square here. Also from the top, so from above. Then I yarn over, take the yarn underneath and pull it through the top of the treble of my finished square, 3 loops on the hook, and then I complete my treble in my unfinished square, and at the same time I am attaching the square perfectly to my finished square. Okay? And this is how I will proceed. So second treble of my unfinished square. So I begin making the treble until I'm almost finished, until one move is left to complete. And when I have 2 loops on the hook, again I will insert the hook right on top, you see, of the corresponding treble in my finished square and the corresponding group of 3 trebles. And then I finish my treble in the unfinished square. And so I will proceed. 1, 2, so I practically work on my unfinished square very normally. Just at the end of the stitch, when it's still left one move to complete it, I am going to take in and almost weave in and include in the movement the other square. In this way, I'm also creating this nice joining stitch here. That looks pretty. Okay, so where I have my chain 2 space between groups of 3 double crochets, I will very simply capture my group of 2 chains in my finished square in the movement. So by inserting the hook in the space of the finished square, yarning over and making my chain, I am including and joining as I work. Okay. Now I've made my 3rd corner. I need to work one last side. So 3 groups of 3 double crochets separated by a chain 2. And this I will do just like I've shown you. So I begin making my double crochet in the next group like this. Before finishing the stitch, again I will include the top of my corresponding DC in the corresponding group of 3 DCs in my finished square. So you only need to remember that you are practically working and finishing your square, and at the same time you are including in the movements in the stitch the side of your finished square. Okay, so you only need to remember this, plus the most important thing of this method is that you remember to keep the joining yarn in between the 2 sides that need to be joined and underneath, and that you insert the hook from above. So here, space of 2, just like before, I make a chain including the space of the finished square, and then I jump to the next group of 3 double crochets. So now I will do it a little bit quicker. Just make sure that it's the corresponding double crochet in the finished square of the corresponding group of 3 double crochets, and so on. It only needs some practice, but once you have fixed in your mind these basic concepts of where to keep the yarn and how to insert your hook, and that you just need to work on the side of your unfinished square, it all comes naturally and also rather quickly, and it really spares a lot of time of weaving in and attaching afterwards. Okay, so this is the last double crochet of the last group of 3 double crochets, and once again I will show you how to make the corner. So here you go. So one last group of 2 like that, and just like before I'm doing the same with the last corner. So you can do this joining method with any stitch virtually. I'm doing it with single crochets and with half double crochets as well. So it's just the method you need to learn. Here you go. So this is the first group of 3 trebles in my last corner. Now here in the last corner space I will make 2 chains like that. Okay, so here I've completely joined the last side of my unfinished square to the finished square, and what's left to work is the second group of 3 trebles in the same space, and then chain 2 and attach it to the beginning group of DCs. And this is not attached to anything, of course, so far. Okay, chain 2 and slip stitch into that chain of my special beginning double crochet. Okay, and this is where I'll cut off yarn. Okay, so this is finished. It needs to be blocked. Okay, and on part 3, or maybe I will do a short video to show you how to attach all of these strips of 8 special Sharon granny squares, and to make a long vest out of it. So I would say that we have finished for today. So thank you for watching and following me so far. See you for part 3 or for my short video, and that's it. So see you next time. Bye bye.